You got that .com environment, and I see the pictures and all that. You got the high end. We sell tarps, so like we don't have like not yet at least. We don't have the branded product, so we don't have that high profile fun that you guys. What you guys are always doing like fun, like team building. The team. What are some of the things you guys do?
Well, I think for us is we've realized that the culture is really important, and where people spend, a third of their lives at work, and so the people they work with, the environment they work in, the benefits. For us, we talk about a whole circle of benefits about working at a company like DropOff. It's not just the pay. There's a lot of other components that, sometimes people understand that. Sometimes you have to remind them of that. So the culture is really important, whether that's, doing community outreach, whether that's doing, corporate events just for the team. We try to do a fair amount of that kind of stuff.
You know what's funny? And when in the beginning when you started, I don't think was it 2003, right? You said 2003.
2002 was GameFly, 2014 was DropOff.
Yeah. Well, but let's talk about 2002. So in the beginning, I think there was still some of that .com, but it wasn't like, oh, like you didn't have to explain. Here's the culture. It was people like still wanted a job, but now it's like more of a you have to. That's a component talking about the culture of the business to attract the talent.
100% now. And I would say, um, that's been the case for probably the last 5, 7 years, maybe 10 years. And then the last year, diversity and inclusion. So, what are you doing for make sure women have, equal pay? What are you doing to make sure minorities have roles within the company that are, that are senior? All of those things are critical, and a light has been shined on all of it. And so that's an important part of building your culture now as well. And it always should have been, but it probably wasn't, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It was not to the degree that it is now. And so that's a good thing. So it's positive change.
It's funny listening to you talk. Your dad can articulate naturally like you do. But in the beginning, you inevitably you couldn't articulate the aspects of business now like you do now. I mean, do you see the difference like when you first started and now it just rolls off the tongue of like the acumen of what you have talking about business?
For sure. For sure. In 2002, when I started GameFly, I didn't really know how to start a business or build a business. Those are things that no one can teach you. You have to go do it. And more likely than not, you'll probably fail, but those that fail and try again will end up being successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. You as a compliment, uh you have a certain modesty about you, when it comes to business. You can look back and, I'm sure there's times you really say, yeah, I started two really big juggernauts in business and I feel good about myself. You find yourself as you get older, you're just like, is it kind of like, I just want to do the job. I just want to do it right. It's more about that now. In the beginning, was there kind of like a starry eyed, we're starting a big .com company. This is really exciting. Was there any of that there? What was your psyche like, when you first started compared to now?
Um, well, starting GameFly was different than starting DropOff. So starting GameFly, it was really, I realized I'm probably not a great employee, so I should start a business. So, if I need to get fired, it's probably firing myself, or maybe the
Right.
board firing me. But I'm not working at a company that's, I'm just not suited for that. So I learned a lot at GameFly, and then when I started DropOff, um, a lot of that, pulled forward. But the thing about starting a business is nobody realizes how hard it is. I mean, it's really, really hard. And so you got to be willing to put in, 80, 90 hours a week for that first year, because if you don't get it right, you don't get it off the ground correctly, it's going to crash and burn. And so I'm always more worried about failure than I am about success. And I think that's what motivates me.